Okay, good evening, everybody. Little bit of a technical hitch. Wednesday, 20th of April, 2022. And welcome to the RJH live stream where we will be talking all about Module 2. So Module 2, Take 2. As we did have a little bit of a technical hitch, and I think we resolved it anyway. So, yeah, welcome. Currently still in Spain. As you can see, the hooded top has come back out because the weather has gone downhill again. It's been raining all day, although the weather has been fantastic this week. Weekend and this week has been fantastic. But yeah, live stream all the way from Spain, but we are focusing on the Module 2 test. So if you are thinking about getting your bike license, if you're part of the way through, then do watch the video. Chat away in the comments. We'll get back to you, and let's see what we can do for you. A lot of advice, not just from myself, but from those that participate in the live streams as well. And of course, it is all free. So, it's a good one to get stuck into. So, yeah, tonight is all about Module 2. RJH live stream, as I say, Wednesday, the 20th of April, 2022. I am in Spain, but we'll carry on keeping the live streams going. And in the descriptions below, you will find links to videos that will be referenced to what we're discussing tonight as well. But it is a Module 2 session. So feel free to comment away. If we can get 100 people watching the live stream at the same time, I am going to open up a competition for a free CBT worth £199. So you can win a CBT worth £199 if you answer the question correctly first time, and that will be opened on receiving 100 people watching at the same time. So that's the important thing. Yeah, we want 100 people. The only way we're going to get that 100 people is by you, ladies and gents, commenting away and get in that chat room too hot to handle. Okay, because the way that the YouTube algorithms work, it'll spread it out and spread it out and spread it out, and that generally is how it works. Okay, it is going to be a good evening. It's going to be a long evening. We'll go through the Module 2 as much as possible, and use the channel, use the live stream, and take from it what you want and introduce it into your lessons with your instructors wherever you are up and down the country. Okay, but the advice that we can give you, we've been doing it for 20 years, so we like to think that we know what we're talking about, although we are always learning. Okay, so we are always learning, the same as all of you. Now, it would be wrong of me not to do all the traditional formalities, and that is to congratulate all of Team RJH for the hard work that they are continuing to put in, as always, introducing people into the exciting world of motorcycling, whether that be taster sessions, which is right at the very beginning of somebody's journey, if they so wish. CBTs, Module 1 training, Module 2 training, and Module 1 tests and Module 2 tests. So well done. Also, we have been introducing people back into biking, those that have been out of it for a while. And I know that the last few weeks we've had a few of the what we call back to biking, which is always a good course. So well done to all of those. And also a big well done to everybody that has been messaging me from up and down the country, letting me know the videos have been helping them achieve their goals. And it's why we do it. We initially started the channel for our own pupils, but it sort of soon got out there for people were getting noticing us up and down the country, and it is really humbling for us to know that our videos do help people up and down the country. So if that is you, then please do continue to give those comments. It means a lot. Let us know how you're getting on. How you can repay us in a small way is by leaving us a Google review. So if you're not able to come and train with us, and people do come to us from up and down the country, we had a lad recently from over in Leeds, and we had another lad from down in Bedford. So we do get people from up and down the different parts of the country. But if you're unable to come over and spend some time with us, but the videos have helped you, then please do leave us a Google review. It really, really does help. Okay, so we're going to be talking about the Module 2. Remember, as I said a little bit earlier as well, we will be giving that competition out on receiving 100 viewers on the live stream at any one time. The record was 62. So we have had 62 people watching the channel at once. So we'd like to break that record. And as I say, get to 100, I am going to offer a free CBT up for grabs worth £199. And that can be taken at our sites Runcorn, Eccles, Manchester, Northwich, and Wigan. So 4 centres you can choose. If you've already got your bike licence or you've already got your CBT, then we can give you a gift voucher and you can let somebody else have it. So it's a win-win for everybody. But we do want to see 100 people at the same time watching the live stream. And just to remind everybody, how we're going to do that is by, if you're commenting away, you need to comment away in that chat room. I want to see that chat room smoking at all 4 corners. So Module 2, description below, you can see the videos that we've been making over a number of years, and they'll sort of link into what we're also going to be saying. And let me get that up, because then I can refer to that as we're going along. The connection is pretty good, I think, bearing in mind I am in Spain. It's not my normal connection at home, but we are in Spain still. And so let's get that up on the screen now. And let's see what's in that description below, if I can find it. Yeah, there we go. So Module 2 test in detail. We're going to be using the form which is called the riding test report. Historically, it was a paper copy. These days, it is a turn that off. But these days, it is all on the iPads, so you don't actually get a paper copy. You get an email report. But the form is that I'm going to be using, and it runs in parallel. It's the same. Is a DL25, and that is a riding test report. It's called a DL25 MC, which is motorcycle. Okay, so we're going to be using that along with the videos which I've got listed in the description below, and that will help you then. Once the live stream's finished, you can go back and watch the videos. You can look at the DL25, and you can do some homework, use that with your instructors wherever you are, and you can take it all from there. Take out of it what you can. So that's where we're up to, and that's taken about 10 minutes just to get all that stuff out of the way. So let's come into the chat room and let's see what is going on. Crosby 1382, good evening. If there's anybody that is new to the channel, do comment away in there how you found us. Did it just come up on your feed, or how did you come across our channel's live stream? So interesting to know. And don't forget, everybody, to, if you're not subscribed, press that subscribe button and set the notification so you do set that. I think there's a little bell sign. Set that so that you do then know when we're getting new videos. So as soon as a new video gets loaded up, then you know, and you won't miss out. Okay, that's important as well. Wolf Gaming UK, good evening to you, Laura. Starting your Mod 1 training with Graham tomorrow. Fantastic news. You will enjoy it. Crosby 1382, what's your opinion on undertaking? If it's illegal, I don't really do it. Undertaking, if it's illegal, I don't actually do it. Good evening to Lisa, and we don't teach undertaking for your test, no. Good evening, Lisa. Eudice Garza, that's another new name, Eudice Garza. Only joking, Eudice, only joking. And good evening to you. John Little, good evening to you. Eudice, sorry to point this, but it's quite hard to hear. Maybe it's my phone, not sure. I think you could improve it by using a microphone. Yeah, listen, I mean, there's lots of ways that we can improve the live streams. Is everybody struggling to hear me? Let me know, or if you're okay, yeah, then again, let me know. But yeah, don't generally get any comments that people can't hear us. I have got an external camera. There's an external camera that I use. I don't use the computer that I'm using is Apple Mac Pro, MacBook Pro, and using an external camera. But I haven't had any bits of feedback telling me that the sound is low. Although I think I might be talking a little bit quieter because we're inside a villa, which is marble everywhere, marble floors and very hollow. So I do tend to be talking a bit quieter because it's quite loud in here. Maybe that might be what it is. So let us continue then. We're talking about Module 2. And I suppose this live stream is going to benefit anybody that is thinking of getting their full bike license. It would benefit anybody that's already started that journey. But I suppose it's particularly beneficial to those that have, done their CBT, they've done the theory, they've done the Module 1, and now they're looking at their Module 2. So it's sort of still fresh in your mind. So Module 2, it's the final part of you achieving your motorcycle license. So if you've got up to your Module 2, well done, because it means that you've done quite a lot already. It's, CBT, theory test, Module 1, Module 2, that's the order. And yeah, it is the final part of you obtaining your motorcycle license. And, some people say it's the hardest, some people say it's the easiest. And I suppose all I can say is it's only as hard as you make it. And it will be as easy as you want it to be or as hard as you want it to be. So don't overthink it. You've got to do it. Depending on your experience, your background, then you're gonna find it harder or easier. It just depends. So important thing is not to go for the test if you don't feel ready. So listen to your instructors. Yeah, they can advise you, can't they? That's what you pay them to do. So listen to your instructors, and that's really where you want to be, thinking about. Let your instructors guide you. Okay, so Module 2. So let's start off with the DL25. So if you look in the description below, the first link that I've got there is the Motorcycle Riding Test Report DL25. So don't worry about if you're not making notes or anything as we go through. Use that link below and you can print off a copy yourself, because the benefit with the the DL25, the benefit with it is it not only marks you on each sort of heading, but on the reverse of it, because there's about 5 different on the file. If you link it, there's a what we call the riding test report explained. So it gives you a bit of an information about what the examiners are looking for and stuff like that. So the marking sort of sheet is on the front, and on the back is what's called the explanation. So it's quite cool in that way. Okay, so you can always sort of cross-reference it, but also, as I said, use the links below, and that will help you. Before we even sort of discuss about when you get to the test centre and stuff like that, the important thing is, right at the offset, is to be prepared. Okay, so when you go to the test centre for your Module 2 test, you'd meet your instructors at their school. So most schools will do that. There's 1 or 2 schools I know that take bikes in vans. We don't do that. We don't support that. You'd always meet us at our training centre, and then you'd ride to the test centre. Gives you that saddle time, doesn't it? Gets you in the zone. But very important that you are prepared. So don't arrive to your training centre late, because it's going to put pressure on your instructor and you. And if you're teamed up with somebody else going for a test as well, you're putting pressure on them. So be considerate. Punctuality, get there early. Don't be late. We hear it all the time. Oh, the traffic. Oh, the what? No excuse. Get there on time. Get there early. Be prepared. And that way you're going to be not as stressed, are you? Because, you don't want to be stressed. So preparation is key. Preparation is key. Get to your training centre on time, and remember the golden rules. Don't forget what you need to be wearing, and don't forget your documents. Okay, there is a link below, which I've got, is what to wear on your motorbike test. Okay. So what to wear on your motorbike test. But if you're going for a Mod 2 and you've done some training with a school, you should be aware by this stage of what you need to wear. Okay. So that's important. And preparation, documents, don't forget your license, your theory, your Module 1, your CBT. So get there on time with everything well prepared, and then that will be the start of a good standard, won't it? Okay. Good evening to you, Liam from Stoke-on-Trent. Yeah, you're right. Don't worry, mate. You don't need to apologise. You're being late. Not a problem. A.D. Summerlin. Hi, Rob. The new law on letting pedestrians cross on a left or right turn. Do you think this is dangerous? If you don't let them cross because it's dangerous, do you fail your test? Also on mini roundabouts. Mini roundabouts is completely different. That isn't in the new ruling of the pedestrians. Yeah, so you're approaching a junction, so a T-junction. You're approaching that T-junction. Somebody's waiting to cross. You need to be stopping, letting them across. And, of course, also, if you're turning into a junction, left or right, again, you need to stop and let them cross. Don't beckon them, but you do need to come to a stop. It's all about those vulnerable road users, so pedestrians. I'm in Spain at the moment, and every junction you go into and you're coming out of, there's a zebra crossing. People cross, so you're doing it all the time. I think what it's getting you to do is if you're approaching those junctions at a slow speed, you're controlling the traffic around you. So, yeah, I don't see that. I think it's just educating ourselves, and in 6 months' time, in 12 months' time, we're all going to be used to it, and it's going to be normal. What I don't agree with is, what I don't agree with personally is the poor way that it's been introduced. I don't think there's been as much awareness of bringing it in as there could have been. But it's a bit of a beast, isn't it? So, yeah, totally support it. I need to support it because that's what I do. Crosby, several years ago I was searching Mod 1 and Mod 2 tests and what to expect. One of your channel suggestions, so since then I've been watching your videos. Fantastic, Crosby 1382, that's good stuff. So Crosby, you've passed your bike test then. You're an experienced motorcyclist now then, so you can contribute as well as everybody. So thanks very much for staying with us. I have got a video, John, on First Big Bikes. First Big Bikes. You go back through on some of the videos, First Big Bikes. It's a great one. I mean, there's no right or wrong. So, Shane from Surrey, UK. Good man, Shane. Yeah, I think there's a period with the DVSA where they sort of are letting get. Yeah, so you could. What I would say, you could you could achieve a serious fault in that instant. Yes. So what I would certainly say is that you need to be applying the new rules. If you're not sure, speak to your instructor. Yeah, if you're not sure, speak to your instructor. Honda Fireblade CBR 1000RR, very nice too. I ride a Honda CBF 1000 GT. It's like a rocket if I want it to be, but I don't. So yeah, get to your test centre on time. Then you get your training centre on time, and then you will your instructor will get you to the test centre on time. It's up to your instructor then to present you for your test. The examiner in the office will have a look at what you're wearing, get you to sign a declaration, give you a debrief on the test, what they expect of you, ask you to lead the way out. So the briefing, it'll be something along the lines, want you to ride for yourself, follow the road straight on, unless traffic signs tell you otherwise. Just imagine you're on your own. If I want you to pull over onto the side, I'll ask you to do so in plenty of time, and if I do so, find somewhere safe. If we get lost, such as traffic lights and stuff like that, just pull over somewhere safe. If you don't hear anything, just keep going. He'll also explain that there's going to be a bit of independent riding, so a bit of independent, where he pull you over and explain what's going to happen. But he just wants you to get on with your own ride. So that's really very clear. They want you to get on with your own ride. He'll then ask you to lead the way out. It kits you out with your radio, so you have a radio, much the same as what you use with your instructors. Most schools now are using Bluetooth, so it's going to be very similar. So it kit you out with your radio and lead out, get you to lead the way out. And the first thing you're going to do is an eyesight test. So the first thing he's going to do is get you to read a number plate from 20.5 meters. Yep. And you can, extreme circumstances, you can fail your test if you can't read a number plate. So make sure that you are able to read a number plate. Don't forget your glasses. If you wear glasses, don't forget them, okay? Because if you need them to read that number, you should be using them to ride. So many people do forget them, so don't forget your glasses. First thing then, number plate check and eyesight check, and then you lead them over to your bike. You'll make note of the registration and visually have a check around it, and then he's going to do the show me, tell me questions. Now, description below, there is a link, show me, tell me questions, and you can pick up a minor fault there, so make sure that you're comfortable. It's not rocket science, so have a look at them. I've done a video on it. Simple questions. You get one show me question, one tell me question, and you get one question on carrying a pillion passenger. So they're both down there. I've got links for the show me, tell me questions, and I've got links for the pillion passenger questions. Okay, so that's the first thing that you will be doing when you get to the bike. All right. Safety questions. very important, as a comment in there in the chat room. Very important. I think it was Crosby. Yeah, I'll get your name in a minute. Crosby. It's Shane. As Shane said there, top tip is to relax. Okay, and just treat it like you're going out on a ride. You're going out on your own, and treat the examiner like a sat nav. Easier said than done, but that way, if you relax, you're going to perform better. You are going to perform better. Yeah, so eyesight, show me, tell me, is carrying a pillion passenger. And I suppose the next thing the examiner will be thinking about then is getting you on the bike and getting you out on the road. So it'll be just making sure you're happy with everything, making sure the radio's working, and he'll explain to you that he's going to be on that bike over there, or he'll be in that car over there, because sometimes the examiners can be in a car. Nothing for you to worry about. Makes no difference. If they're in a car or on a bike, it makes no difference. I don't think it does. You just do your thing. And you can, I suppose, overall, before we go into the test report, overall you can accumulate minor faults and serious or dangerous faults. So minor fault, you can accumulate 10 of those. Now a serious fault or a dangerous fault that you're putting yourself in danger, or your examiner in danger, or another road user's in danger, then that would be, one of those would be a fail. So you can accumulate 10 minor faults and pass. 11 minor faults would be a fail. 1 serious or 1 dangerous would be a fail. So let's have a look then. The first, because the DL25 test report is a module 1 and a module 2, although you do those on different sittings, the first thing I would say before we even get on the bike then and get going, when you've done all the formalities, is don't forget the standard that you passed your module 1 on. So when you moved away, for instance, and you did your observations, you would do that on your module 2. How you move off, control position, how you stop, first gear control position, how you use your brakes, front, back in a straight line, slow speed control. All of the skills that you developed and passed your module 1 on, all of the skills, carry on with it. Don't slip, it's all building blocks. So show the examiner that you still have got all of that standard. Now I'm going to go straight into, on your test report sheet, number 13. And number 13 is rear observations. And they're looking at rear observations signalling, rear observations changing direction, and rear observations changing speed. So on the DL25 explanation of 13, which is your rear observations, the description on the back, and as I said, you've got the link. You can print one of these off. You can take a look at it. But on the description, it is that you should use the mirrors fitted to your machine safely and effectively. Where mirrors are not sufficient, for example, covering your blind spots, then you must take rear observations, lifesavers, in brackets. You should have always checked carefully before signalling, changing directions or changing speed. You should have shown you can use the OSM PSL routine. So let's keep it simple. What I teach is mirrors, DOS. So before DOS. Any observation, rear observation, wants to be done before you carry out what you're going to do, so you have the benefit of being able to act on what you see. So there's no point looking in your mirrors after you've done it. Always look in your mirrors before. Always look over your shoulder before. Always give yourself time to act. Now, DOS, mirrors before DOS, direction change, overtake, signals, and speed. And your examiners will be looking at the timing of those. They have very good observation skills they've developed, and very good. They will see if you're checking your mirrors after. So, and you will pick up faults if you don't do them correctly and at the right time. Because if you don't, then you are going to be putting yourself at risk. Lifesavers, certainly moving off from the side of the road, moving away from stationary. Lifesavers changing lanes, lifesavers overtaking, lifesavers exiting roundabouts, lifesavers turning right major to minor. So when your mirrors are not going to give you information, you need to do the lifesavers. Chin to shoulder. And all, just like on the module 1, you don't want to be doing it too quick, you don't want to be taking too long, you don't want to be turning your body around, all the things that you would have up to that point. But your mirrors and your lifesavers are very, very important. Down below in the description, take a look, because I have got the description of, just get it back on now, come on, where's it gone? It's disappeared, not for long though. Rear observations, I've got down there somewhere. Rear observations explained and a demonstration. So number 13, rear observations. Very, very important. Also, I've got a good video, and Shane sort of touched on it a little bit about relaxing. But I have got a good video which is first 5 minutes and last 5 minutes of your test. So the first 5 minutes and last 5 minutes of your test. So the first 5 minutes you're going to be maybe a little bit nervous, a bit unsure and stuff like that. And the last 5 minutes you can be complacent. Some really good tips. Make sure you've got food inside you, either breakfast or lunch. Make sure you're hydrated. Make sure you've had a good night's sleep. Lots and lots of top tips. If you think you've made a mistake, don't worry about it. It might not be as bad. Examiner might have seen it, not have seen it. So the first 5 minutes and last 5 minutes, really, really useful tips for you, ladies and gents, to take on board. Back in the chat room, do apologise. Mr. Paul Whiddle. Good evening, Paul. There's a name from a few years ago. That must be, Paul, would I say 10 years? I would say Mr. Paul Whiddle is between 8 and 10 years ago, off the top of my head, passed with us in RJH Salford at the time. Nice of you to join us, Paul. And Paul would have done that. Yeah, it was mod 1 and mod 2. I think it was about between 8 and 10 years ago, I would think. Paul Whiddle. Nice of you to join us. Yep, so following on from 13, number 14. 7 years ago, Paul. Good man. Take it. You are enjoying it. Did well as well, Paul. You came to us a new rider from recollection. Never been on a bike. Got you through your licence. Good times. Good times. Number 14 then, signals. So number 14 on your test report, signals, the examiner then will be looking at signals necessary, signals correctly, and signals timed. Okay, so they're the three headings for 14. Number 14, the description on the back of the report is you must have only used the signals shown in the highway code. You should have signalled clearly to let others know what you intended to do, particularly if it would help other road users or pedestrians. You should always signal in good time and ensure that the signal has been cancelled after the manoeuvre has been completed. You should not beckon to pedestrians to cross the road. Okay. Now, signals, and people always say, "Oh, do you signal this? Do you signal that?" So I always say, well, if, as an example, your examiner asks you to pull over, and do I signal? Okay, well, there's nothing wrong with signalling, but was it necessary? Well, I'll do it anyway. Okay, it's not a problem. So if you have a look around, there's nobody about, and you signal to move in, it's not a problem. The problem can occur if you don't cancel it and then you move off with your left indicator on. So make sure you turn it off, or indeed if you don't turn your indicators off. So always signal if you think somebody's going to benefit from it. You'd always signal turning left and right, exiting roundabouts and stuff like that. But pulling over on the side of the road and stuff. And then other ones say, oh, if I'm going round a bus and I have to go on the other side of the road, I'd always put a signal on. So if I'm going over the centre white line, I always have to put a signal on. I said, no, you don't. No, you don't. Only use a signal if it would benefit other road users. And very, very important, you always turn your indicators off. Because if the examiner has to tell you to turn your indicator off, you could pick up serious faults. Remember, minor faults, serious and dangerous faults. Going back to your observations, if you were to turn right, major to minor, and you missed a lifesaver, that's going to be a problem. Or missing your lifesavers moving off from the side of the road, or missing your lifesavers on exiting roundabouts. These are going to be big problems. So make sure you're comfortable. Watch your videos below. Watch the description. There's some cracking content there. So signals, again, use your OSM PSL. Down below, I've got a great video, and it is headed Top Tips to Ensure You Cancel Your Indicators, because that is a big problem on Mod 2 tests, that people don't turn their indicators off. And you can then pick up a serious fault. So make sure you turn your indicators off. And I've got a great system on that video. Top tips to ensure you cancel your indicators. Try it. Let me know how you go on. All right. Moving on, number 15, clearance to obstructions. So number 15 on the riding test report, it is clearance to obstructions, and the description is you need to give parked vehicles and other obstructions safe clearance when passing. Watch out for changing situations, such as pedestrians walking out from between parked cars, doors open, and vehicles trying to move off. Be prepared to slow down or stop if needed. So, a meter, always, car door opening width, meter. And, make sure that you are giving sufficient clearance. If you're not giving sufficient clearance, you are going to cause yourself problems on your test. You're going to cause yourself, you're going to be putting yourself at risk. And if you're unable to give adequate clearance, consider holding back, consider slowing down, consider stopping. Don't want to be making any other vehicle change speed or direction because of your actions. So a lot of forward planning and adjust your speed, adjust your position accordingly, and that would be the key. Okay, that would be the key. So clearance to obstructions. Let's have a look at number 16, which is response to signs and signals. So response to signs and signals, traffic signs, road markings, traffic lights, traffic controllers, other road users. So highway code, roadcraft. And as it's been said before, being relaxed, because when you're riding, you need to be identifying any information that is available. And that could be road signs, it could be road markings, it could be street furniture, it could be also what's going on around, your spatial awareness, because if you don't spot this information, you're not going to be able to deal with it. As an example, a speed sign. So if you miss the speed sign, you're not going to be adhering to the speed, whether it's up or down. If you miss the one-way sign, if you miss the bus lane road marking. So much information available. So you always want to be giving yourself time to identify it. Very, very important. I think that's probably one of the biggest ones for me, is the response to signs and signals. And make sure that you're comfortable with your decisions. On a Pelican crossing, if you're sat at a Pelican crossing, thanks Lisa, if you're sat at a Pelican crossing and you the flashing amber light comes on and you sit there waiting, there's no pedestrians, the examiner will tell you to get going. So make sure that you're comfortable with what the rules and regulations are. Very, very important. If you're approaching a green traffic light, always anticipate they're going to change. Don't slow down willing it on. Be confident, but always be able to stop if you need to. 16, response and signs and signals. The description, did we go through the description? You must show that you can react correctly to all traffic signs, road markings, traffic lights, pedestrian crossings. Obey signals given by police officers, traffic wardens, highways agency officers and school crossing patrols. You need to watch out for signals given by other road users and ride on only when you are satisfied it is safe. Yeah. AD Sumlin lives near a school. You go from a major road to a minor on a left turn, and this is where everyone crosses to get the school. Do I have to wait for them all to cross if I am beckoned to go? Is that a fail? So yes, you would need to wait because you're going into a road, so the pedestrian would have priority. And in fairness, pedestrians, if there was always had the priority, if somebody was on the road crossing, you would have always had to have stopped anyway. That was always the case. But now, if somebody stood waiting to cross, you would come to a stop. Don't beckon. No, so don't beckon them. You come to the stop, they need to make their own decision. A bit like a zebra crossing. So you come to a zebra crossing, you're coming up to a zebra crossing, somebody stood waiting to cross, you wouldn't stop and beckon them. You come to a stop, let them make the decision. But yes, you would need to now. Be mindful of insurance before any plans to try out bikes. Good man, AW8. Liam Bryan. Hi guys, fairly new sub. I found you guys before I took my Mod 2. Videos help reassure me, so cheers, good man. Liam, where are you from, fella? Where are you from? Let us know where you are from. So number 17. So number 17 on the test report is the use of speed. Now, number 17, use of speed. You should have made safe and reasonable progress, keeping in mind the road, traffic and weather conditions, road signs and speed limits. You need to show confidence based on sound judgment, remembering at all times that you must be able to stop within the distance you can see the road to be clear. And that's a good barometer, isn't it? You don't matter where you are on your bike, what you're doing, what situation, always be able to stop in the distance you can see to be clear. And that might be the weather conditions, might be so bends and stuff like that, but speed is important. And if you're not getting up to speed, then you do need your reasons not to be getting up to speed. So if you're in a national 60, then why aren't we getting up to 60? So if we're in a 50 and you're only doing 30, why aren't we getting up to 50? So yes, speed is important, making that progress. So nice and confident, but it is all about safety. So as the description says, you need to show confidence based on sound judgment. Okay, and of course, going back to 16, response to signs and signals, you need to know what the speed of the road is. So let's think about number 18. Following distances. So number 18, following distances. So keep it simple. You've got your 2-second rule and you've got your 4-second rule. You should have kept a safe distance between you and the vehicle in front. You should have been able to stop safely well within the distance you can see the road to be clear. Leave extra distance in wet or slippery conditions. Leave sufficient space when stopped in traffic queues. Yeah, so generally speaking, a 2-second rule. Good conditions, 4-second rule in wet conditions. And if you are stopping behind vehicles, junctions, traffic lights and so on, a couple of bike lengths. We always do a couple of bike lengths, enable you to move around that vehicle if you need to. And I have got some brilliant videos on riding in the rain, stuff like that, which you could look through the content. 18, 19, maintain in progress. So maintain in progress. The descriptions, you've got a look, the examiner's looking at appropriate speed, undue hesitation. So maintain in progress, again, ride for yourself. Don't ride for the examiner. If you're waiting at junctions, waiting at roundabouts, so if you go, he can go with you, then that's not the mindset you want. You want to be making your own decisions. You need to show that you can ride at a realistic speed appropriate to the road and traffic conditions. You should have approached all hazards at a safe, controlled speed without being too cautious or affecting other road users. You should have always been ready to move away from junctions as soon as it's safe and correct to do so. Riding too slowly can create dangers for yourself and others. Yeah, so get yourself going. Don't hang about. And don't interfere with other road users. So if you're merging onto a road, get up to the speed of the road. You don't want that vehicle slowing down. So you keep going and make that progress safely. Ride for yourself, don't ride for him. And it's not a problem. If you can go and he can't go, don't worry about it. Yeah, don't worry about it. Good evening to Mel. Mel has got his module 1 and 2 next week with RJH. Getting nervous now. No need to be nervous, Mel. You'll be fine. Wise words from Mr. Whiddle. Number 20 then. Junctions including roundabouts. So junctions number 20 description is, let's have a look. Junction approach to speed, observation, turn right, turn left, cutting corners. So they're the sort of 5 topics the examiner's looking for. Number 20. So junctions, including roundabouts, your examiner looks to see that you're dealing safely with road junctions. Use your SMPSL procedure, positioning, approach, speed, and observation are essential to negotiating junctions and roundabouts safely. Turning right across busy roads, dual carriageways, particularly dangerous. You need to be confident you can judge the speed and distance of oncoming traffic safely. You need to look out for other road users emerging and turning at junctions and be ready to move or stop. You need to be extra watchful in poor light or bad weather conditions for more vulnerable road users, such as cyclists and other motorcyclists. Yeah. So OSM, PSL, left and right. Your positioning, I suppose, your speed, your observations. There's quite a lot there, isn't it? Approaching speed, observations, always look right, left and right before you go over the light, before you're emerging. Turn right, position 3, turn left, position 1. Cutting corners, not really, unless you've got obstructions. Yeah. So junctions, it's one of the hot spots, isn't it? Which is why, if you think the new ruling with pedestrians, so it just gets everybody gets that speed down, and it gets the awareness of what's going on around, and identifying and giving priority, giving way to those more vulnerable road users. 21, overtaking, filtering, meeting, crossing. So overtaking, filtering, yeah. If it's very rare that you're going to be filtering on a test, in 20 years we've only had it once or twice where the examiner encouraged you to. Overtaking, if you get an opportunity for an overtake, then do it. You can earn brownie points, but you need to, dual carriageways and things, you're probably more likely to be overtaken. And just watch your following distance, getting too close to vehicles when you're coming back in. Don't get too close to the vehicle when you're overtaken. But if you get an opportunity to overtake on your test, do it. Bad people in the past, they didn't overtake, failed. Or I didn't think the examiner wanted me to overtake. Whatever gave you that idea? You get an opportunity to overtake, go for it. If it's safe, if it's legal, go for it. Meeting traffic, yeah. Rules of priority. Don't interfere with anybody, don't make anybody slow down, don't make any change position. Don't bully your way through meeting traffic. Be comfortable with your rules of priority. Planning ahead. The further ahead you can plan, then you can negotiate it safely. Crossing traffic. Again, forward planning. Don't cross traffic, make them slow down. Don't take any unnecessary risks. Crossing traffic, turning right, make sure your exit's clear. And think about if somebody flashes you, so you're turning right, if somebody used to flash you, then interpret it correctly. If it's safe, go, do it. And don't sit there. If an opportunity arises, then you're on your test. Oh no, I can't go. Somebody, no, can be in watch. No, why not? If it's safe and you've interpreted it correctly, then go. And be confident, be safe. Mr. Aaron Cunliffe passed his Module 2 test today. Yes, with the young lady. There was a young lady with you, I think, Aaron, from recollection. And I believe Peter took you to St. Helens this morning. So very good. A very good pass indeed. Well done. So well done to Aaron Cunliffe. Passed his Module 2 test today. What a feeling. 22, positioning, normal riding, lane discipline. Video down below on positioning and stuff. Do take a look. A lot of videos in the description below. So do double check them. We've got 22. You should have positioned your machine in a safe position as a general rule in the center of your lane. You should have kept clear of parked vehicles and positioned yourself correctly for the decision you intend to take. Where lanes are marked, you should have kept to the middle of your lane and avoid the straddling lane markings. You should not change lanes where not needed. Be aware of where you are at all times, as other road users judge what you may do based on this. Yeah. Your position is a very powerful indication of what you're going to do. You know, so think about, oh, I'm going to overtake this dustbin wagon. I'm going to indicate to go around it, so let everybody know what you're going to do. Well, why don't you come along behind it, or a bus, come along behind a bus or a big heavy vehicle, come along position 3. If you're in position 3 and you then assessing it all and you do a lifesaver over your shoulder, that is an indication showing people what you're going to do. The most important, most powerful, not the most important, one of the most powerful forms of indicating to people what you're going to do is your positioning. Your positioning tells people so much. So hence, you should position your machine in a safe position. You've got 3 positions in your lane, 1, 2 and 3. Remember positioning on one-way roads. End of the road, turn right, it's a one-way road. Over to the right. It's a one-way road. Yeah, so positioning, very, very important. Pedestrian crossings, number 23. 23 pedestrian crossings. Have a look. 22. Yep, pedestrian crossings 23. Let's have a look what the description is. You need to identify the different types of pedestrian crossing and take correct action. You should have timed your approach to crossing so that you travel at a speed which will allow you to stop safely if you need to do so. You needed to pay particular attention where crossing and obscured by queuing or parked vehicles, or show consideration for elderly and infirm pedestrians who are trying to cross the road. Yeah. I mean, pedestrian crossings are precisely that. They are crossings for pedestrians. So you do need to be that spatial awareness of what's going around. So just kiss off a bit of speed, be able to stop if you need to, if the lights change. Just be aware and considerate. It's going to be in built-up residential sort of town centres and stuff like that, isn't it? So, yeah, just be prepared. And looking at the rules, you know, the flashing amber on a pelican crossing. If it's clear, then go. Yeah, go. I think there's a great video down below of a pedestrian crossing, I think, or maybe a toucan crossing. I've got it there. Other videos down there which we've not discussed at the moment is road position, T junctions. We talked about that. There's a T junction there. I need to do a new one with the. I want to do a new one when I get back to the UK and look at you know, the pedestrian route, the new pedestrian ruling. Used to roundabouts, come on to that in a minute. Mid roundabouts, toucan crossings, bus lanes, response to signs and signals, how to use bus lanes. Big thing. Bus lanes, can't go in a bus lane. Why not? Read the. Yeah, there is a video there for bus lanes. So that would come under the response and signs and signals. Yeah, so position for normal stops. I've got a great one, 2 videos, stopping, and the classic one. So moving off on your test, and also, can I stop on double yellow lines on my test? Video down below, take a look at it. You might be surprised. So you need to choose safe, legal, and convenient place to stop close to the edge of the road. So I've demonstrated these, double yellows or not, demonstrated on the 2 videos below, so take a look at it. So look again, OSM, PSL, OSL, PSL. Also I discussed things like the indicator scenario. And one thing also is, remember, always ask those questions. Yeah, always comment away and underneath. I'll always come back to you, not a problem. Number 25, awareness and planning. So the examiner will have looked to see that you're aware of other road users at all times. You should always think and plan ahead so you can judge what other road users are going to do. Predict how their actions will affect you and react in good time. So that's planning, isn't it? Observing, identifying, planning. Take particular care to consider the actions of the more vulnerable groups, road users such as pedestrians, cyclists, motorcyclists and horse riders. Got a great video down below about horse rider, how to deal with a horse rider. 26 bends. So another video we want to be doing, I think, for bends. A few videos on the Mod 2 we need to be getting up for you ladies and gents. But bends, position 1 on a right hand bend, position 2 on a left hand bend. Gears and speed get adjusted on approach. We don't want to be braking on a bend, you want to be changing gear on a bend, be riding through the bend. Always judge the speed of the road, what is the speed or limit of the road, but also be able to stop in the distance you can see to be clear. So some country lanes, you know, national 60 mile an hour, you're not going to go 60 around these bends. It's too fast. So get your speed down to that. Enables you to be able to stop in the distance that is safe, that you can see to be clear. There's quite a lot of videos. So yeah, the bus lane one, that's an important one. Health declaration was eco-safe. So yeah, I think that's probably most of that. But also, what I would say is there is a video down below also of what happens to your license when you pass your test. And the independent as well. So somewhere around on your test route, it's going to last about 40 minutes, and you will get that independent part of the test where the examiner will pull you over, and he might walk over to your bike or might just deal with it on the radio, but he'll explain to you that he wants you just to follow the road signs for. So it could be follow the road signs for Liverpool. Could be follow the road signs for Blackpool. And that's all you need to do is follow the road signs, and then he'll tell you when he stops it. He'll tell you when it stops. So that's a bit of the independent. When you come back from your test and park up, remember your test is still on until you parked up. So park up, enter the test centre safely, park up. Remember the first 5 minutes of your test. The last 5 minutes you might have relaxed, got a bit complacent, so stay focused. It's not over until he tells you it's over. If you think you made a mistake, don't worry, it might not be as bad. When you're out on the road, and you know, as an example, you don't go in the bus lane, you check your mirrors and your examiner's gone in the bus lane, get in the bus lane if you're not unsure, but read the information. You get back from your test and have a little chat with you, tells you what your result is. Yes or no, yes I've passed, no you've not, I'll give you a bit of feedback. New style licence, he'll take it off you and order you a new one if you want to, or if you can do it yourself. It's far better to let him have the licence and you can do it. If you don't, you've got to do it yourself, and some people do forget to do it. So very important, let him take it. You get a new one in the post. But if you want it for travelling, then don't let him take it, because it will go in the shredder. And I think that's about the Mod 2. I'm eating some Maltesers. I'm having a few Maltesers. So I think that's about it for Mod 2. And everything we've gone through is all down below in the descriptions. There are a few videos I need to be uploading and reintroducing into them. So things like, there's one for the bends, one for the junctions, left and right turns, and also the keeping clearance for the cyclists, the new sort of rulings. But there's a few there which we'll get back to. But lots of exciting things going on when I get back. We've got a new workshop coming along now. Anybody that's following us on the social media, we've got our own workshop. We've got our own tyre fitting service. We've got our own wheel balancers. We've got, so looking exciting, and we're doing owner maintenance classes shortly. So we've got a lot happening when we get back to the UK next week. So it's been a good one tonight. I trust everybody has, first of all, thanks very much for coming on. Every Wednesday and every Sunday, generally speaking, I am doing a live stream. So do pop in, even if you're, full license holders, as many of you are. Do pop in, because you have a lot of experience that these new riders coming through can benefit from. So I appreciate that. Any newbies coming through to the chat room today, don't forget to subscribe and set your reminders for the next live stream. And reminders, notification bell, so you get told when new videos are uploaded. Yeah, they do that. So you're in the cycle lane, AD, bus lane. Great one going down Cheetham Hill. You can go in the bus lane Friday afternoon, 4 o'clock, 4:30. 100 cars not in the bus lane because they don't know they can go in it. And you're going down the bus lane, and then somebody decides to turn into a junction on the left. So always, again, that's the sort of awareness, isn't it? So controlling your speed so that you can respond safely to whatever presents itself. And that's all about that defensive. You want to be riding defensively. What if? So yeah, quite a lot there for you all to get your teeth into. And I'm going to be loving and leaving you now. Going to go and chill out and watch a film. Still in Spain until next week. So the month of April in Spain. So we will resume a live stream on Sunday. Sunday is Sunday evening with Bob the Biker. Okay, so do please join me. Thanks all for coming on and watching. I'm going to love you and leave you, and I will catch up with you all very, very soon. So bye for now. Bye.